Hamza Ali Abbasi, a pleasure to be here with you in London. How are you?
I am good, and thank you for having me on your show, and it's a pleasure again to be in London.
You know, it's great speaking to you because, as I was saying to you just now, you are one of the few Pakistani actors who isn't scared to speak about whatever he wants, despite the consequences. Don't you have like a PR team or a management team saying, Hamza, be quiet, stop talking about this, you know?
Well, it might be a surprise for a lot of people, but I do not have a manager, I do not have a PR team. But I do have friends and family who used to say that, stop saying all these things. And I tell them that, no, that's the problem of my country and my society, that we are discouraged to speak our minds. And I think if nothing else, I hope and I pray that I can be a living example of the fact that you can stand up for political causes and social causes and still be a successful actor. And I think that's one thing I really, really want to, I hope that becomes a trend in my country.
Well, before we talk about the politics, let's talk about the film, because that's what you're here to promote. And of course, Parwaaz Hai Junoon is a film that's been in the making for a couple of years now. There's been a lot of talk about, the subject matter and the cast and all sorts, but why Parwaaz Hai Junoon for you?
See, as far as I'm concerned, I've evolved into a person who wants to do projects which are a little bit more than just entertainment. I mean, I want there to be that substance in them. I want there to be that message in them, that impact, that positive impact. So this film is also a string of those choices because it's not just a film. It's a lot more than that. I mean, internationally, it's a film that would, I hope and pray, that would clear out a lot of misconceptions about my country. For example, one of the leads in this film is a female combat pilot.
Yeah.
And, not a lot in the world know that Pakistan is the only Muslim Air Force which has female combat pilots.
Yeah.
It's one of the few air forces in the world with such a high ratio of female combat fighter pilots. So this is one of the examples of a lot of misconceptions that this film will clear out internationally. In my own country, this film is a technological first with the CG and with the Air Force itself. I mean, Air Force is making its first film after 5 decades. So in my own country, I hope that what we're trying to show, the sacrifices that were done in the war against terror. And then in this film, I'm very happy to tell you that we are also showing the human part of the soldiers. That they're not some Terminator machines, they're not Robocops.
You know, there was a question I had much later, but I'll ask it now because you're saying this now. One might worry that this film is a piece of propaganda or whitewashing the army in some way, and you're seen to be somebody who's fair, somebody who's very balanced in his views. There's concern why somebody like Hamza Ali Abbasi would do a film that could be seen in that light.
Well, what is propaganda? Propaganda is exaggeration of reality and trying to make true what is not true. So it's fabrication, that's propaganda. If you're only highlighting facts and truths, that's not propaganda. So this film, I'm extremely happy to say that even though it's an Air Force film, but it's not at all propaganda. We're not making any outrageous claims in this. We're not showing anything which is not true. For example, the female combat fighter pilot, it's not just there to put in glamour in the film. It's not just there to make us look cool, it's truth.
Sure. Incidentally, you left a successful franchise to be part of this film. You left the Jawani Phir Nayani franchise, and incidentally, the sequel to that film releases on the same day your film does. Is that strange, competing with a film that you were technically a part of?
Yeah, I was part of the first film, Jawani Phir Nayani, but I left it because it's not a genre that I would...
You called it vulgar.
No, the 2 songs.
Okay.
I was extremely embarrassed about the 2 songs in the first film, even though the film was brilliant. And let me assure you, Jawani Phir Nayani 2 is a brilliant film. And Humayun is like a brother to me. He himself says that, yes, you were right, I learned from the new film that there's certain cultural sensitivities that we should not breach.
But can we talk about that? Because, you are seen to be somebody who is balanced and fair, like I've said already, but you have spoken out about things like item numbers, or you've spoken out about certain mature themes in film and TV. That suggests censorship of some kind. And you're not somebody who promotes censorship in Pakistan.
Look, that is not censorship. That is more of a realization that when you make films, when you put them on screen, it has a certain impact on the society. Whatever I do in my private life, it has no impact on anybody. And it's nobody's business to comment on my private life or get involved in my private life. It's my private life. But when you make a film, you put it on the screen, in the cinema or on TV, it has a huge impact on the society. So it's a call to feel responsible. It's not censorship. It's a call to realize the fact that you have an impact. Just please be careful with the kind of content you make.
But then how can, you know, a similar film industry in Hollywood be able to make any kind of content that it wants, and it doesn't lead to the public being influenced so much? What is the fundamental difference in Pakistan?
Look, of course, it leads to public being influenced because, look, what you put on screen is a reflection of what your culture is. Hollywood's culture, India's culture is completely different to our culture. We're not people who are open to sexual, the kind of sexual innuendos or comedies or the way Hollywood or Bollywood likes to show women. We have our sensitivities. We're not saying put women in burqas, but we're also kind of uneasy with the fact that how item numbers show women in a very sexually promiscuous way.
So then, to play devil's advocate, if the woman herself is comfortable acting out those scenes, the woman herself is comfortable being part of such movies, why do you have a problem with it? Apart from it influencing society, is it not that woman's choice? Just like we have a film like Cake, where we see two modern liberal women in Pakistan smoking on the streets, is it not the same right that a woman might have who wants to dance in public like that?
Smoking is different. In fact, I'll say it publicly, I think that women smoking is as good or bad as men smoking. When I smoke or when a man smokes, it's a health issue. But when a woman smokes, it's an issue of her character. That is wrong. That is obviously wrong. That is why if a female friend of mine is like, I'm not going to smoke in public, I was like, why? If I can smoke in public, you should also smoke in public. And that the fact remains the same. Smoking is bad for your health, whether a man smokes or a woman smokes.
Yeah.
But then you come to the sexual part. My problem is when you encourage entertainment which is purely sexual. How can that be good for a society? It's bad when a man does it. I'm completely embarrassed about that topless scene I did in Jawani Phir Nahi Aani. I apologized for it.
Yeah.
So it's bad both for a man and a woman when they do it. Because look, again, private life, I have no right to comment on that. But when you're doing something public, it is bound to be subject to public criticism. Because what you're doing is having an impact on our society. And dramas.
But the problem now is that we're at a point in Pakistan where they, just like everybody else in the world, has access to the internet. They have access to cinema from their neighboring country, India, from Hollywood, from the UK, Netflix, streaming services. The content that you're saying shouldn't be made in Pakistan is being readily available in other places. And Pakistanis are still choosing to watch it. You know, a film like Masti or Great Masti, whatever it's called, is still popular in Pakistan. They have seen it. So are you not just taking away from potential business that the Pakistani film industry could be making?
Number one, item numbers have played absolutely no role in the success of a film in Pakistan. Even it's a trend that India is trying to separate itself from. The top 10 highest grossing movies in India, 9 of them don't have item numbers in it. They don't have sexual humor in it. They don't have sexually promiscuous songs in them. Number 3, whatever India does or Hollywood does or whatever happens in the world, it's none of our business. We don't control it. People can watch whatever they want to watch. But what we do matters to us. I mean, a young girl who looks up to our actresses and actors, a young boy who looks up to our own actors and actresses, they're influenced by them. They idolize them. So what they do matters to us. Whatever happens in India or the world, that's not in our control.
Sure.
I mean, porn has a huge market. Does that mean Pakistan should step into the porn industry? No. So these kind of things Pakistanis have shown with their attitude. They do not approve of it. Tell me one single item number that played a huge role in the success of a Pakistani film. None. In fact, the films that have gotten so far, Punjab Nahi Jaungi, War, even Parwaaz, JPNA 2, Load Wedding, none of them have item numbers in it.
So this is your first film or drama release in 2 years. In the past 2 years, you spent much time as a political commentator, as a TV news anchor, and rallying for Imran Khan's PTI party. How has that experience been? Have you enjoyed all those different ventures?
I wouldn't say I've enjoyed it. I'd say I did it because of a sense of responsibility. That when you live in a country like Pakistan, I think neutrality is a sin. Neutrality in a time of crisis is a sin. So in a country like Pakistan, you cannot be neutral. You have to take sides. When you see so much injustice happening around you, you have to take sides. If you're a neutral person in a country like Pakistan, I fail to understand how you sleep at night. So for me, it was more of a responsibility and a duty. It still is. And I think it's not a career for me. It's not a hobby or a passion for me. It's something I have to do because I like to believe that I'm a human being who feels. So if you're a human being who feels, you have to make your voice heard. You have to stand up when you see injustice. You have to stand up when you see corruption.
You are very close to Imran Khan. In fact, you were with him on the night when the election results were coming in. Describe that environment to me. Describe that atmosphere, especially when it became clear that he was going to win.
It was, yes, celebration, yes, but it wasn't dominated by celebration. It wasn't dominated by a sense of victory that, yes, we won, it's over now. No. Imran Khan was very sober. He had that sense of responsibility. And right after he did the whole TV thing, he came out, he talked to all of us, and he said, the struggle is over, but the hard work is just beginning. And I want you all to realize that the mountain that we have in front of us that we have to climb. And he had that sense of responsibility. He had that sense of burden. So it wasn't all like, we won, congratulations, we did it. That wasn't the atmosphere that night there. So it was, and then obviously he prayed to Allah and he prayed to God. He made us all pray that please give us the strength and the expertise to get over successfully these mammoth challenges that are in front of Pakistan right now.
I mean, shortly after you flew out to Toronto because of work commitments, but have you spoken to him since then? Is he at all nervous? Because what we see on TV is this very confident man who's very much in control of what he's talking about. But on a more personal level, is he nervous at all about the scale of what is set out in front of him?
Not at all. He's a man who has a plan. And I trust him because he's delivered on each and everything that he has said. I mean, they said he couldn't win the World Cup, he did. They said, let's start from before that. They said he wouldn't be able to fix his bowling action, he did. They said he wouldn't be the best all-rounder in the world, he became the best all-rounder in the world. They say he wouldn't be able to win the World Cup, he did. They said he can't make Shaukat Khanum, it's impossible, he did. They said they can't make Namal, he did. They said he wouldn't be a successful politician. He is a successful politician. They said he can never be the Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister. So he's a man with a plan and he knows exactly what to do. And I think that became very apparent in his first speech, that he knows what to do. And that's, but that sense of responsibility is there. I remember him saying that do your hard work right now. And believing that this is the first and the last time we have gotten this opportunity to fix Pakistan. There will not be a second chance. So he has that sense of urgency and responsibility, and he has a plan.
What about the accusations that he's too conservative? I mean, those are accusations you faced yourself at some point, and you come from one of the most liberal industries in the country, the entertainment industry.
Unfortunately, in Pakistan, there are two extremes. There is the conservative extreme and then there is the liberal extreme. So when you say anything which these two extremes don't agree with, they immediately brand you as the other extreme. When I spoke against the item numbers, they said, you're a mullah. When I spoke about the Ahmadi rights, they said, you're a liberal. So no, me or Imran Khan, we're not in those two extremes.
But the Ahmadi rights is one of the things that is a reoccurring factor about why people call Imran Khan conservative. You know, is that something that will be addressed soon?
He has been very public with his thoughts that whether it be Ahmadis, whether it be Shiites, whether it be Christians, Hindus, anybody, regardless of their faith, the duty to protect their life, their dignity, their wealth, that is the duty of the government. And there are no two thoughts about it. He's been very vocal. He's been very public. Yes, we do believe in the finality of the Prophet. We have laws about that. But those laws are scholarly. No law in Pakistan says that if you're an Ahmadi or a Christian or whatever, I am liable to shoot you or kill you. So those laws are good laws. But unfortunately, these few bad incidents that we have, like burning of a church or burning of a Ahmadi mosque, those should not happen in a purely Islamic country. Because in an Islamic country, this Muslim government is supposed to protect your life, dignity and wealth, no matter which faith you belong to.
Very quickly then, because we're going to come back to entertainment and we're running out of time. You've got two massive projects lined up now. You've got Mola Jad and you've got Alif as well. And actually, it's at a point where many people thought you might go into politics full time. That was a lot of rumours that, you know...
I am into politics full time. I'm just not into electoral politics.
Yeah,
but
you're there full time anyway, but people did think that you were going to pack in the day job of acting and go there the full hog. Just very quickly, just summarise what the experience of Mola Jad and Alif have been like. They sound like very exciting projects.
yes, Alif is actually, you know, this entire thing about how Alif is basically what I've been saying for the past 5 years. With this whole item number debate going on, with this whole that we shouldn't stoop down to the level of making entertainment only a business about sexualizing women.
You play an actor in it.
I play a director in it.
Right.
But it's basically what I've been saying for the past 5 years. That is beautifully encapsulated in a script.
Wow.
And that's why I thought I have to do this. And then Molajat is a project which is very, very dear to me.
And very long from the sounds of it as well. It's been...
Because there are a lot of firsts in it for
Yeah.
Pakistan. There are a lot of technical firsts in it. There are a lot of visual firsts in it. There are a lot of action-wise firsts in it. So it'll be, inshallah, a movie that's going to set a lot of milestones for Pakistan film industry. It's a very difficult movie to make. So hence it's taking so much time. So these are two projects I'm really, really, really looking forward to. One is coming out this year, the drama thing, and Molajat is coming out next year, I think.
Hamza, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.